Hello, colleagues. Today we are going to go over the slides for a virtual training called Foundations Refresher. We would start with an icebreaker activity, which is a Jamboard discussion board. The learners would join and write on a sticky notes to answer the question, what is literacy? Then they would read and respond to their peers. After that, we would have a whole group discussion. Then you would go over the course objectives. For this training, the course objective is that learners will be able to begin implementing Foundations Level 1 in their first grade classrooms using the strategies, activities, and lesson plans provided from this refresher training. The agenda for this session includes the icebreaker, introducing the objective. Then we would go into what is Foundations, why do we use Foundations, how do you use Foundations, tips and tricks, introducing Unit 1, Week 1 so that the learners could get started, then some planning time with their team, and lastly a reflection activity which includes an exit ticket. The first thing is, what is Foundations? So here you would explain to the learners that Foundations is a systematic and explicit phonics instruction program for reading and spelling. Foundations is a Tier 1 instruction tool and it is used for all students. Foundations should be implemented for 30 minutes a day, 5 days per week. Next, we get into why we use Foundations. Foundations includes the foundational skills that are the building blocks for proficient reading and writing. Foundations supports reading comprehension and reading fluency. With Foundations, students work towards mastery on foundational skills and the standards, including standards on concept of print, phonology and phonemic awareness, phonics and word recognition, and fluency. Next, you would take a moment to have the learners do a reflection activity. For this one, we will do a think share. So the learners will take a moment to write down one takeaway from this training so far about why we use Foundations or what is Foundations. Then the learners can share. Next, we get into the heart of the presentation, which is how to use Foundations, tips, and tricks. So these are the main takeaways and things to remember about using Foundations. First is that the first 3 weeks of using Foundations really consists of repeated practice of letters, letter sounds, and letter formation. So the teacher should model and students echo back. So you model the letter, the keyword, and the sound. So for example, the teacher would say J, jug, j, and the students would echo back. So that is practice on letter and letter sound. For letter formation, you would go over that there are skyline letters, plain line letters, plain line round letters, and plain line slide letters. You use Mama Echo and Baby Echo, which are our tools, owl tools, for students to repeat back. There are activity cue cards that contain a summary of the lesson activity procedures. There are letter formation, verbalization guide cards for the teacher, and there are also demo videos online that you can access as well. Next, we are getting into what does Unit 1, Week 1 look like. So day 1 consists of letter, keyword, sound, a letter formation activity, and student notebook review activity. The first 3 letters you would go over in Week 1 are T, B, and F. So these are the activity cards with on the back tells you what to say and the activity to go through. Then you have your standard cards. and the students echo the letter, the keyword, and the sound for these new letters. Next, you have the letter formation. So this is the grid that you are all given with the curriculum. And the grid, as you can see at the top, has the sky. So those are the skyline letters. The plane line is below, grass line is below that, and then at the bottom, you have the worm line. So for this activity, you demonstrate sky writing with the verbalization card that are on the right of these slides. Students will then stand and they sky write the letters with their arms and their hands. Then the students practice the letter formation on their dry erase boards. Lastly, for day 1, the students go to their notebook. They recall the name of the letter, the picture to help us remember the sound, and what is the sounds that the letter makes. And the students draw in the letter that they just learned today. Next, you get into day 2 of Unit 1, Lesson 1, Week 1, Day 2. For this day's activities, you have the letter, keyword, sound, letter formation, student notebook, and review, same as day 1. The 2 new letters for today are N and M. So you go over the letter, the keyword, and the sound, and you use the big activity cards, and then you use the small standard cards. Then, same as yesterday, you go over the letter formation for N and M, practicing the sky writing, and then students modeling the sky writing, then they write it on their dry erase boards. Lastly, they go to their student notebook and they color in the name of the letter that they went over today and the picture and what sound does this letter make. Then you would continue going on with day 3, which is a similar setup. The letters for day 3 are I and U, which the only difference is that they are vowels. So you stretch out or you use the vowel extension cards. So I, you would say I, itch, and you, up, So that's the only difference. You still do the letter formation the same way and the student notebook the same way. Day 4, letter, keyword, sound, letter formation, student notebook, but your letters are C and O for today. Now you can add O to your vowel extension activity, do your letter formation, and your student notebook. Day 5, all you do are the drill sounds warm-up and the activity called Make It Fun. So the letter keyword sound is for the letter T. Add that to your small standard card. This goes on your whiteboard. Practice your vowel extensions. The Make It Fun. So this is just letter formation a little differently. It says teacher whispers letter in one student's ear and they form the letter using their finger. Other students guess which letter was made. Then all students write the letter on their dry erase boards. So after going through week 1, then you tell the learners, we are doing a reflection activity now. So take a moment to write down one takeaway from how you use Fundations. Then have the learners stand up and practice with a partner how to read the letter formation drill cards for some of the letters that the students learn in days 1 through 5. Lastly, it's important to give the learners planning time so that they can look through the teacher manual, they can practice using the materials given and practice with a partner how to go through the verbalization of the lessons. So this is really important time for the learners to plan and work with each other and ask any questions. Lastly, do a reflection exit ticket. What areas of Fundations do you feel most confident in and what do you want to work on? So that is all for Fundations Refresher.